Snarklings. Welcome to Gothic Charm School, the video, the first! Yes, a video edition of Gothic Charm School, wherein I, the Lady of the Manors, will attempt to tackle that age-old question, what is goth? Now I know there are a lot of goths watching this who at this point are slapping their foreheads and rolling their eyes and going, oh god, she's not going to talk about that, is she? I am. Because you know what? There are some non-goths watching this and introductions are useful. So, what is goth? It started out as an artistic movement about 400 years ago. Gothic art, Gothic architecture, Gothic literature. Where do you think we get the term Gothic novels from? Even if they started, coming back in the 70s as weird Gothic romances. Gothic architecture, that whole trend of having your very own fake abandoned mausoleum built in the backyard. Love that trend. Why can't we have it now? However, the form of goth people are a little more familiar with is a vague catch-all term for a musical movement that started after punk rock. The most seminal and well-recognized of that would be Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus. Don't fib, elder goths. It'll still drag you out onto the dance floor. I know, it gets me out there every single time. Goth is also an aesthetic that mixes funereal elegance with black humor, B-movie kitsch, and a healthy dose of vampires. I know, we all want to avoid that cliche, but admit it, you have vampire books on your bookshelf too. You can't deny it. Now, the other thing goth refers to is a subculture that grew out of all of that and has been around for about 30 years. Yes, 30 years. When I say elder goth, I am not kidding. It's been around and been mined constantly by pop culture and fashion for 30 years going on 40. Nightmare Before Christmas is over 15 years old. Come on. Anyway, the clever of you may have noticed that were certain things that I didn't mention. So what goth isn't? Goth isn't a cult. Yes, I know. Funny-looking people in extravagant or weird clothing, usually all black. I can see where that would give you the impression that goth is a cult. But it's not. Goth has no religious affiliation. There are goths of all religions, there are goths of no religion. It doesn't matter. You don't need to sign up for a particular religion to get your goth cards stamped. Another thing goth isn't is a phase. Admit it, you've had this conversation too. Someone will come up to you and go, oh, are you a goth? Oh my gosh, I used to be a goth like ages ago, in high school, and then I grew out of it. Implying that, oh, we're not grown-ups, or that it's not something we'll stick with for the rest of our lives, that it's just a teen phase of rebellion and we're going to go piss off mom and dad. No. For some people, goth is a phase. But for a lot of us, goth is something you grow into. Even my mother has accepted that goth is not a phase for me any longer. Another thing that goth is not is about depression or self-harm or violence. There are a lot of people who are scared of goths. We come on all ooky spooky and creepy, and a lot of people think we're just waiting to attack them, waiting to commit horrible acts of violence. That's not true. On the whole, goths are very peaceful. What we are is blackleaf humorous. We have a very strong dose of black humor. We make all sorts of jokes about, smacking our coworkers with croquet mallets, making sacrifices so we can get the concert tickets we really, really want. Those are jokes. Blacker than black humor jokes. We don't mean it seriously. Goth isn't about hurting yourself. You don't have to cut yourself to be a goth. And you certainly don't have to be depressed to be a goth. Goth is something that acknowledges that the world is a scary place. It's not always fun. It's not always happy. Everyone has feelings of depression, of being upset, of being misunderstood. And it's okay to acknowledge those feelings. But it's also about looking for beauty in unexpected and dark places. That cliche about goths having picnics in the graveyard? It's a cliche for a reason. We like doing it. It's quiet, it's very pretty, and there's a sense of history there. It's not because we think we belong with the dead. Not at all. It's just a nice place to go have a picnic and to look at some of the local history. Hey, want to know more? go to the website, www.gothiccharmschool.com, or, even better, buy the book, Gothic Charm School, an essential guide for Goths and those who love them, with illustrations by Pete Venters, published in June from HarperCollins.